Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I thought it was a great time to give you guys a PREBIS list for your level 25 warrior before your first Black Fathom Deeps in Season of Discovery. So we're going to go item by item here, and I'm going to give you guys essentially a PREBIS list or items that you should be hunting for. Now we're using 60 upgrades. Some of the items they have are pretty impossible to get as far as they have listed, and you would need an insane amount of help. We'll go over those items, but you got items from dungeons, you got items from quests. I'm going to try and give you guys an easy list so you don't have to spend too much time farming. But all right, let's get right into it. So first, starting with our helmet here, you have a couple options, not many options. You obviously have your bright eye goggles, your brutal helmet if you decide to go that way. But your biggest upgrade here would probably be Humbert's helmet. Now keep in mind, you have to farm the elites down in Hillsbrad, the Dungarak rifleman. 4% drop rate for this helmet, but totally worth. You get the 8 stam and the 7 agi. So we'll go ahead and go with that. And obviously, if you're going blacksmithing because of the craftable items that they're instilling in Season of Discovery, you're probably going to have to go with this helmet anyways, or your brutal helmet. So we'll go with this. Now your necklace, you don't really have many options. Obviously, we're not going over Black Fathom Deeps gear. You have your glowing green talisman, which is a world drop, another world drop, or your PvP item. Now, I'm not going to go over the PvP items because a lot of people probably, I'm not going to assume that all of you are going to PvP. So we're going to have to go with the world drop here. Now, these are probably going to be an insane amount of money on the auction house just because people know that these are your only chances of getting a necklace. We're going to have to go here. Now, shoulders, what I was talking about with the upgrades or 60 upgrades kind of giving you impossible items to get, I was mainly talking about Enforcer pauldrons. Now, they look really good. Obviously, 8 strength, 8 stam. The problem is you need to do the corruptor chain. And that quest at the end has a level 40 orc that you need to kill. And you would need an insane amount of help, insane amount of 25s to get that kill. So honestly, I'm going to cross these out. Technically, you can get them at level 25, but you're not going to unless, you have 10 people to help you out. So we have our elite shoulders, which are actually from the random vendors that you can find around the low-level areas, such as Stone Talon Mountains, Hillsbrad, and a couple other places. Now you have to look up where these vendors are. There's a couple different spots, but these shoulders are very good. Now keep in mind, this is what they're going to charge you. So make sure you have some rep so that you can get that price down a little bit. Otherwise, you have glimmering mail pauldrons, another world drop, and some other ones. Now, if you're super desperate for some shoulders and you can't get anything else, there is a blacksmithing pattern for silver bronze shoulders, which actually aren't too bad. 3 stank, 3 stam, 3 spirit. We're just going to assume that you got these because you couldn't get the other world drops or you couldn't afford the elite shoulders. Now, this is why professions are huge because you're going to need cash right off the rip to get items like this, the elite shoulders. But we're going to go ahead and go with our silver bronze shoulders. We're just going to assume that you can't afford it. Now for cape, you kind of have limited options. You can go ahead and grab the drop off of the last boss in RFC, the subterranean cape. Or if you want, which I don't think it's an option because we're a horde, you can actually go get Cape of the Brotherhood from Edwin Van Cleef in the Dead Mines. Now, if you're playing a PvE server, obviously you're not going to have to worry about getting over their PvP, probably. But we'll go ahead and say that you can't get that. But if you can, please try to get this cape. If you can't, your options are very limited. You're going to have to either go with the world drop or you're just going to have to settle with an RFC cape, unfortunately. Now, your chest, you have 2 options. You have the shining silver breastplate, which obviously we took Humbert's helmet, so we're assuming that you're blacksmithing and not going engineering. You could go ahead and craft this. If you are engineering, though, good luck trying to get this breastplate because I already know the mats are going to be skyrocket high because you're going to have people gatekeeping those materials that you need to get this chest piece crafted. Another good option is obviously right here, the mutant scale breastplate, and that is off the last Murloc, off the escort part in the very last part of Wailing Caverns. As you can see, identical stats, a few armor off, 1 strength off, and 1 stamina off. This is a great secondary option if you cannot get shining silver breastplate. Again, there's going to be people crafting this and they're going to put the prices through the roof and you will not be able to afford it unless you're making it yourself. So we're going to go ahead and go with the breastplate from Wailing Caverns. Now for your wrists, you have a couple options. Obviously, your best ones are all world drops, or you have a BFD one. Again, we're not doing BFD. I really like, now I talk about these bracers all the time. The Grimtoll wrist guards, they're not hard to get, and you can actually get them right at level 24. Problem is you'll need a couple people to help you out because they're about 27, 28, 29. All you have to do is do that Grim Totem spying quest for Horde. All you have to do is just go grab those little boxes of notes, and you get these wrist guards. 5 strength, 2 stam, 1 agility, really good bracers that have all the stats that you would want on them. Otherwise, if you're blacksmithing, again, you can go with the pattern bronze bracers, but keep in mind there is no stam on these bracers. We're going to go ahead and go with those. Now for weapons, you have a couple options here. Since I'm orc, I'm going to go ahead and play to my racials, and this is where your dungeon farming really comes in handy. You're going to find for your level 25 warrior that SFK is crucial for all of the specs, no matter if you're playing Prot, Fury, Arms, whatever you would like to play. So we're going to start with our one hand here. Now, if you're tanking, you have to get Butcher's Cleaver. There's no doubt about it. Now, the problem is that this is going to be it's a pretty hard farm unless you get insanely lucky. It's only 10% drop off the Butcher boss in SFK. Now, take a look at the stats, though. 1.7 attack speed, huge for tanking. 5 strength, 2 agi. So you're getting 10 AP off of this Butcher Cleaver alone. Now, if you wanted to go dual wield, I wouldn't even mind dual wielding these. In fact, I dual wield them a lot just because of the orc racial, right? So you have your +5, and that's going to be huge at level 25. Absolutely huge. So I wouldn't even mind dual wielding these, to be honest. Because think about it. When you dual wield them, you're getting 10 strength, 4 agi, right? So that's 20 AP, big for dual wielding. Otherwise, your other options are, once again, just world drops. You can get heavy bronze mace, which is a good craftable. This is more for humans. You have your Legionnaire Sword, which is from PvP, and more BOEs. So your best option here for me is you got to suck it up. You got to farm SFK. You got to get that Butcher's Cleaver. Now, I'm assuming you're not going to be doing anything else really besides doing BFD, so you have no reason not to farm this weapon. We're going to go ahead, and put our Butcher's Cleaver here. Now, as I just said, you can either dual wield the Butcher's Cleaver, or if you need a shield, once again, SFK is your best option. You can get the Commander's Crest, which is a pretty decent drop rate, 29%. I feel like it's got to be higher than that. I see it all the time off of the Commander Springvale boss in SFK. Again, if you want to dual wield, you can go again with another Butcher's Cleaver. It's a one hand, so it's perfect. We'll put our Commander's Crest here. Now let's go back and let's look at two hands. Now, two-handed warriors at 25, you have like no options. There's Smite's Mighty Hammer, which is pretty low level. Honestly, might be your best option, so you got to go to Dead Mines. Otherwise, you have a world drop, another world drop, a Duskwood quest that's not applicable for Horde. Same thing here. Same thing here. Your only real option is you got to scroll down a little bit. Where's it at? We're trying to find it. Brute Hammer, right here. 3.3 attack speed, not even an axe, 8 stam, 4 strength, 1 agi. Problem is you got to do the Arikara quest, which is that elite serpent that you have to summon after you do the chain and 1,000 needles. Now, you'll need 3, 4, 5 people to do this because it's a 30 elite and you will be 25. But if you can find people to help you out, absolutely go with this for two-handed. Great. So now we're going to go to our hands. Now, your only option really is Warsong Gauntlets. There's really no reason for you not to get this. You got to farm in Ashenvale anyways, get the quest. Maybe you're doing the PvP events, so you can easily get your rope, your oil, and then grab the other stuff. The only problem you're going to have here, again, is if you're not engineering and you can't make your own deadly blunderbuss to get these saw blades, then, you're probably just going to have to pay money for that, or if you have a friend to help you out, which, I mean, there's going to be tons of people playing. So we're going to go ahead. Your really only option here is the Warsong Gauntlets. Let's click again. Otherwise, you have other world drops that you could do. Living Realm Gauntlets, Lambent Scale, Gloves of Brawn. Really your best option and only option here is the Warsong Gauntlets. Or if you want, which I'm not assuming they're not on here, yeah, the Algae Fist, because BFD is no longer a dungeon. Now we have our belts here. Now another option here, or your best option, is the Cobran's Grasp. So as you can tell, for Warrior, you're going to be doing a lot of dungeon farming for this PREBIS, and that's totally okay. You're not really going to have anything else to do. Now your Cobran's Grasp here, easily your best option. Otherwise, you have more world drops in Blazing Belt, Grimling Mail Girdle. This is a really good belt. Unfortunately, it is only for Alliance. And you have Slayer's Sash, which is also really good. As you can tell, a lot of world drops, nothing that you can really just get from a quest that's, good for you to have at that time. So we're going to have to go with Cobran's Grasp. Again, I'm not really asking that much for you to farm these dungeons. I mean, you're going to have to do them anyways. So like Scale Breastplate, Cleaver, Crest, Double Cleaver if you're dual wielding, Warsong Gauntlets, Cobran Grass. You're going to have to farm. That is what it is, boys. So now for legs. You have a couple options here. You have Plain Guard leggings, which actually go with the bracers that I told you, Grim Toll wrist guards. you get those quests in the same area and you do them in the same place. You got to kill the name guy where you're getting the notes. You get these 8 stam, 7 strength leggings, which are huge. Now, if you wanted more of a DPS route, you can get the cobalt leg guards, which are actually just as good. King of the Foul World quest, you'll need 2 or 3 people with you. 7 stam, 5 strength, 3 agi. You suffer a little bit of a strength drop off on these, but you pick up 3 agi, so these are better for DPS route. You have 2 options right there. Cobalt leg guards, plain guard leggings, easy to get. Or if you really want, you can do the brutal leg guards, which these are just better anyways. Your plain guard and your cobalt. We're going to go with plain guard. Cobalt is just as good. Now for your boots, you don't really have many options here. As you can tell, some of them are even leathers. So we want to go with we can get our green iron boots here, which have stam and 3 strength. Once again, another blacksmithing pattern. Or we have Elixir of Pain, our stomping boots, which are leather. So if you're taking a DPS route, these aren't bad. 4 strength, 4 agi. Same with the forest leather boots. Those are a world drop. Another world drop, and you have another blacksmithing pattern, the 4 strength, 4 stam, 3 spirit, or you have again another world drop option. So either I would go your craftables here, either silver, bronze, or green iron. We're going to put on our green iron. Now for rings, I feel like these are pretty self-explanatory. Now they're going to give you some other options, obviously a world drop, but your Silver Lane's family seal, once again in SFK, you're going to have to get 7 strength and 3 stamina. And then you have your Seal of Sylvanas just from completing the quest or killing Aragol in SFK for the first time. You grab his head, you get 8 stam, 3 strength. Now this is my pre-bis list. Obviously, you can theory craft and find some better options for you, but overall, this is a pretty solid tune, and none of these items that I explained will spend much time to get besides farming the bosses in the dungeons. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys another time.